files and transferring because we just reset this computer. But this is the fences that allows my desktop to be my desktop. So we're gonna close that because we ain't got no time to be setting up no email address right now. We got to get this video done. So as soon as it gives me permission, it ain't giving me permission. Let's do this right here. Let's do that. It's not giving me permission, so it's gonna take a moment for it to catch up. Ladies and gentlemen, doing too much on the computer again. My CPU, as you can see, is at 100, but that's normal for me. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a conversation that was had, I think it was 2 days ago, the 13th of November. And I decided while starting the conversation to say I was going to put that conversation on the net so you all can hear the reasoning and the understanding. There is a misconception of law, misconception of the courts, misconception of jurisdiction. And so I can only assure you that after you get a listen to the conversation that you will understand every single court hearing, every single court proceeding. They are not operating under any judicial license or judicial capacity, which is why they don't answer the question, because they're not required to state what their jurisdiction is, at least so they think. But now that you are going to get this understanding, you will be able to, for the most part, put them in their place to give them a better understanding. And so give me a moment while I get everything caught back up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is called fences. What fences is going to do is it's going to take all of this stuff right here, all this, all here, right up in here, okay, and it's going to take it and do this right here. Watch, just pay attention. All I did was click. I didn't do anything else. I just clicked. And it says, getting started with fences. See that right there? So what I normally do is I take, got to get rid of this because we don't need that no more. Alright, what I do is I take this one, and every computer I got, I put this one right here, and then I bring it on right out here, okay, so that everything is right here, and then I do that. Sorry, I actually have relatives who say things like right here, okay, so I's not making fun of them, I's reminiscing, so y'all just gonna have to deal with it for now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is fences, and if you don't know what fences is, just go to StarDoc, S-T-A-R, Doc, D-O-C-K. Hey, what up, Doc? Anyway, go to stardoc.com, and at stardoc.com, you will be able to download a trial version of this software known as Desktop Fences, and don't care, I already know where it went because I know what I'm doing. And we gonna make stuff disappear. That's what we do here. We make stuff disappear. And so let me move this down. Doesn't have a minimize on that. And that's your desktop. Now it's not cluttered with all that stuff, and this is just 360 total security. There you go. Now I can see my desktop. Instead of having all that junk all over the place, I need change, I need movement, and that's why I have my screen changing its picture every minute. Alright, so that's just letting you guys know about StarDoc. Now that you know, now let's get to this conversation that I had. This conversation with this person, I gotta make sure certain things ain't what they is, so give me 1 second. I didn't want the person's phone number to be popping up on video because y'all know I gotta protect the innocent as well as the guilty, and so that's what I was doing, making sure that their phone number wasn't here. Okay, the only thing you can see is this call was made 11:13 at 7:18 in the PM. Alright, so hold on now, I want y'all to listen.
Hello?
What am I interrupting, young lady?
Absolutely not. Just looking up and talking and stuff.
No, I'm just going to run something by you. I'm only going to take up 5 minutes because I got a headache and I'm getting ready. I just took 2 big sleeping pills on my way to sleep.
I'm a genius. Thank you, Jehovah. I am a genius because he allows me to be.
Yeah.
Something's been racking my mind. I told you.
Now, I ain't joking when I say I's a genius, okay? I got people who will testify to that on record, under oath. Okay, so I's a genius. That's why I created the IMAG. Okay? I am a genius. Alright, just want to make sure. And that's why I created the MMAB. My mind's a beast. Only I can do that. I know that pisses some of you off, but that's only called jealousy. You can look that up in the dictionary and you'll see your picture right there. Let me finish playing the audio.
This process that they did is the way out. I know for a fact it's the way out. I know for a fact. I asked Jehovah, I said, Jehovah, please help me figure their system out. Well, now I put the fire.
Now look, let me explain, because I got to, because you guys need to understand. The person I'm talking to understands exactly what I'm talking about, but you guys don't understand. I've been doing this law thing for a while. And although it seemed complicated, they talk about the person who has himself for an attorney, has a fool for an attorney, and all of that stupid stuff. You're going to see why the person is a fool. You're going to see why the courts have so much control when you enter into them. I'll set this up later. You're gonna hear, and then we'll explain why all of this is the case. Many of you, many of you think you already have a clue, think you already know what's going on in the courts, and I promise you, after you listen to this, you're gonna have to rethink what you thought, because what's about to be explained, all of you have seen. We will explain it to where you get it. I promise you, you'll get it. Then we're going to give you a brief understanding of what is a suggestion you should do if the next time one of those people with those little metal things on their chest decide they want to ask you questions, decide they want to confront you, decide they want to have a good day. Okay, we'll talk about that at the end, so hold on.
Piece to the puzzle because it had everything to do with their contract. Do you know it is about arbitration? It has always been about arbitration. It will always be about arbitration.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything is arbitration. You'll see in just a second.
In the United States, do you know why it will always be about arbitration in the United States? What does an arbitrator do?
The question is, what does an arbitrator do? Do you know what an arbitrator does? Hold on.
What does an arbitrator do?
See, can't ask that question enough. What does an arbitrator do? Pay attention, people, because this is everything. You need to know the answer to this question. Do your research. Understand what's an arbitrator's duty.
They write up the case.
No, dude.
She said that they write up the case, they write up the document, they write up the award.
They not just sit there and hear the so-called dispute between the parties and then make a determination based on the facts presented before them?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing that a judge does?
Wait, hold on. No, don't stop it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a judge is an arbitrator. He sits as an arbitrator, qualified as an arbitrator, is an arbitrator. All they're doing is arbitrations. Why? How can I prove this? Listen.
Yeah.
They are doing arbitration every single day. The judge acts as an independent arbitrator in every case. Remember, he's not a party to the case. He announces that he's not a party to the case. The rule says that he can't be a party to the case. They are doing arbitration in every single case, and the party agrees to arbitration before that arbitrator.
It's an administrative proceeding. You're in court. Every single court case is administrative. They're administering justice. They're not administering on behalf of the justice branch, the judicial branch. They're administering justice as part of the administrative branch of government. If you don't believe me, all you got to do is go look up the administrative branch of the United States courts and the Judicial Council and see what their main duty is: to administer justice. It's an administrative proceeding. That's why it's called a hearing. Hold on.
That's why there's no need for him to announce his name. We keep doing judicial misconduct motions and all that stuff. They're not judicial misconduct. He's not a judicial officer. Well, technically he is, because he's an arbitrator. He's an officer of the court. And an arbitrator has to be one of two things: an attorney, or a member having a bachelor's degree, or a party that the parties mutually agree upon. Now, I would not have figured it out if I had not focused on how do we get around the arbitrator being an attorney or a person with a bachelor's degree and having skills in this and that. And then it dawned on me.
See, Don, you know, I met Don. Y'all met Don. Y'all know, man, Don, I ain't heard from Don in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, it dawned on me. You see, I was trying to figure out how do we get around paying for these arbitrators who charge these fees of $500 an hour, as if their skills deserve $500 an hour. But when you do your research about arbitration, that arbitration has been grandfathered into the United States. Arbitration existed before the United States existed. They were doing arbitrations prior to doing the whole judicial system in the United States. That's how they settled agreements, was through arbitration. Well, the courts have done the exact same thing. That's why you have the Federal Arbitration Act. And if you pay attention to the Arbitration Act, every state has an Arbitration Act. Every single state. Why? Because it's an administrative proceeding. Now pay attention to this word. You need to know this word. If you don't pay attention, you will miss it. Arbitration is an alternative administrative remedy. Now, when you do your research, you'll find that the Federal Arbitration Act is under the Administrative Procedures Act. Now, let me say that again because you're not getting me. The Federal Arbitration Act is under the Administrative Procedures Act. Did you know that the Administrative Procedures Act does not apply to the United States courts? You're right, when they're acting in a judicial capacity. But when they're acting as an arbitrator, they must comply with the Administrative Procedures Act. It's always been arbitration. It has been about arbitration from day one. And don't focus on the word arbitration. Forget the word arbitration. Focus on the procedure for arbitration. When you walk into a courtroom, there are two sides. The court cannot proceed without a controversy. It's there to determine the so-called facts based on the information presented it. It's arbitration. But what about the jury? Talk about that in a minute.
That we could choose an arbitrator by mutual agreement. Well, everybody who goes through traffic court or any other case, that's why the attorneys, they appoint an attorney. They hold the individuals incompetent, and they have an attorney represent them. In most arbitration cases, you can't be represented by an attorney, but the way they get away with it is they deem the person to be incompetent because the person's a minor. So they're doing arbitration every single case. The whole system is arbitration. Do you know why we can prove they're doing arbitration? Why? Because the arbitration hearing is an alternative administrative remedy. Are not the courts administering justice?
Yes.
Are they not administrative officers?
Yes, they are.
And according to the law, when they're enforcing statutes, they possess no judicial powers, but are ministerial clerks there for superior reviewing purposes only.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to show that to y'all. Y'all gives me one moment. Now, I pulled up the laws you didn't know exist. And I just typed in superior reviewing purposes. Hold on. Hold on. That's where we need to go. We don't need to look for it again. It's right here. These 4 case laws is what we need to be focused on. I want y'all to focus on this. It is the accepted rule, not only in state courts but also in federal courts as well, that when a judge is enforcing administrative laws, they are described as mere extensions of the administrative agency for superior reviewing purposes, as a ministerial clerk for the agency. They are not judges. They are ministerial clerks handling an administrative duty known as arbitration. Look, It is impossible to prove jurisdiction exists absent a substantial nexus with the state. Voluntary subscription. You go into that court and you submit by appearing to their jurisdiction, which means they can proceed with arbitration because you've agreed to the arbitrator. Hold on, the traffic court, where a person is not at the time a licensee, neither the agency nor the official has any jurisdiction. The person must have a license. The accused was not a licensee, and it was not claimed that he was. Every single case, they introduce a license or an ID showing that you have a contract with the state. Hold on, we ain't finished, y'all. Judges cease to sit as a judicial officer because the governing principle of administrative law provides that the courts are prohibited from substituting their evidence, their testimony, record, arguments, rationale for that of the agency. In addition, the courts are prohibited from substituting their judgments for that of the agency. The court sits administratively. The reason why you cannot find most of these cases is because they are unpublished. That's why people have been having a hard time confirming these cases, but you can confirm KC Davis. You can confirm this. You can confirm his 1977 publication and his 1965 publication where he says a judge who becomes involved in a mere enforcement of a stupid statute, whether civil or criminal in nature or whatever, administrative statute, act as mere clerks for the involved agency. They are arbitrators. It just didn't hit me until it hit me. Then there are supposed courts becoming a court of limited jurisdiction. Have you heard them say that they have what's that stupid jurisdiction that they claim they have? General jurisdiction. There's no such thing as general jurisdiction, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, look at the Constitution and see if you see anything about general jurisdiction. Constitution only recognized four jurisdictions: administrative, executive, administrative. The second one is legislative or congressional. The third one, pay attention, judicial. And the fourth one, do you know what the fourth jurisdiction that the Constitution recognizes? It's right there with judicial. It's called original jurisdiction. There is no such thing as general jurisdiction. They're branches of government, separation of powers. General jurisdiction means they can cover anything. Courts don't have no stupid general jurisdiction. The word general means everything. So, the supposed courts becoming courts of limited jurisdiction as mere extensions of the involved agency. Every agency is administrative. There is no such thing as a congressional agency. Agency means executive administrative for mere superior reviewing purposes. If you've ever had an appeal, the appeals court will always tell you that they are there to review the record. Why? Because it's an administrative proceeding known as arbitration. They are reviewing the record to make sure that the arbitrator has based their judgment based on the information produced. Pay attention. Y'all know about the 7th Amendment, right? 7th Amendment says no verdict issued by any jury under the 7th Amendment can be overturned by any branch of government, any court. So why are they overturning jury verdicts all the time? When the jury has reached a unanimous decision, it cannot be reviewed by any court, but yet they've been reviewing jury verdicts because the jury is not a jury. It's an administrative panel. That's all it is. They're there for just an advisory role. That's why a judge can overturn a jury verdict, because it's not a real jury. Now, when enforcing the statute, the judge of municipal court is acting as an administrative officer. Again, administrative officer, go ahead and look at what an arbitrator is and tell me if the arbitrator is not an administrative officer. That's why they're licensed. And not in a judicial capacity. Courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but merely administratively. Ladies and gentlemen, the administrative agency may only act within the confines of the jurisdictional area for which has been marked out by law. Arbitration. If an individual does not come within the coverage of the particular agency's enabling legislation, that agency is without the power to act. Why? Because every act, doesn't matter what it is, that appears to be a law, which is not law. See, not every act is law. Is not something, pay attention, to be exerted over anyone, because the power is arbitrary power. Look, I didn't plan on showing you this law right here. I did not plan on showing this to you. Go look it up. It's arbitrary power enforcing its edicts to the injury of the person or the property of its subjects. It's not law. It is not law. It's by consent. Consent in the law is more than a mere formal act of mind. It is an act unclouded by fraud, duress, and sometimes even mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, the people who put this together, I told you they did an outline. I didn't realize it was an outline when I first read it. I didn't realize when they put this together, absence of jurisdiction and other administrative arguments, that this was an outline, that they were putting together an outline showing you how the system works. They just didn't give us the full details, and I'm angry at them for it. That's right, I said I'm angry at them for it. But nonetheless, now that you know that it is an administrative proceeding, you've already known that. You ain't telling us that new. But you didn't know it was arbitration. Well, I thought I do. Shut up. No, just shut up. Those of you who say you already knew this, you're a liar. Go and look at any video that's ever been done, any paper that's ever been written, and see if anybody brought this information out the way it's being brought out now. And it hasn't. That's because I asked the God that I serve for an understanding, and he has slowly allowed me to put the pieces together. Told you, when these guys put together their document, they did the arbitration. I've known of arbitration for years. I just never used arbitration because I didn't feel like going through the bureaucratic stupidity, the administrative junk that they put together to try to constrain you from using a process. So I said, no, I'm going to use the process that I've been using. Then when I heard these guys use arbitration, that Congress said that what they had done was binding, and that it was a binding contract between the parties, and in their case, the contract included the United States. We've shown you guys that. I'm not going to show it to you again. You don't need me to show you where Congress said that that was the case. You know what I should do? As a matter of fact, 11, 12, 1, 2, it's 2 o'clock. Give me 1 second. I'm going to call the GPO with y'all on the phone, okay? Hold on.
Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
Please listen carefully, as our menu options have recently changed. If you're calling a GPO employee, press 1. For publication sales, press 2. For all other inquiries, press 3. To repeat this menu, press 9. For quality and training purposes, your call may be recorded.
So, I'm going to put you all on pause until they come up.
Office, can I help you?
Yes, I've contacted your offices right about the 28th of October regarding an email response to an inquiry regarding a private law that was enacted by Congress.
Okay.
And someone threatening to send it to your general counsel's office, saying that the law that I sent them was fraudulent. I took offense to that, so I dialed this number. I was promised somebody would call me back. That was over 15 days ago.
Okay. Do you know what office or who you spoke with on the left a message with on the previous call? Because this is the government publishing office.
Yes, the
We
government.
sell books here. So I'm
No.
not sure.
I was calling the GPO. I was calling the GPO because that's who I sent my inquiry to, and this is the number I called.
Okay.
I have a copy of the, what is this thing called? It's a incident ID number,
Okay.
and I gave that to them at that point as well. Would you like it?
Yes, please.
181105 dash 000040.
Okay, let me pull it up here. One
Yes.
moment, please. Thank you. here. Let me get you to the correct office. One moment. I'm getting the number.
Which office are you sending me to?
Okay, one moment.
No, I'm sorry. I said, which office are you sending me to?
I'm getting ready. Oh, hold on one moment.
Gonna say she gonna send me to some office and not tell me where she's gonna try to send me. And then when I ask her, she doesn't have a question. An answer to the question. Now, this is the number I'm calling. And I'm calling about private law 114-31. And I'm suggesting that all of you contact them and ask them about the same law. By saying they're going to send it to a general counsel, their general counsel is not a public servant. He has no subpoenaing power. He has no investigative authority under the United States. He's not an actual officer of the United States government. He's a private attorney hired by this department. So I was supposed to be scared because they said they were sending it to some stupid attorney. So I'm scared. So no, dog with a bone, I ain't letting this go.
Looks like it was sent to Miss Harris in the congressional office. I can give you the number and then transfer you.
I would appreciate that very much. Let me grab a pen. Okay, 202.
512.
Okay.
0224.
Thank you very much.
One moment.
She hung up. She didn't mean to. She didn't mean to hang up, y'all. So let me call Miss Harris. And I'm going to suggest you all call Miss Harris too. Her number is, and she's in the congressional office, 202-512. (0224).
Congressional Rate speaking.
Yes, I'm calling to speak with a Mrs. Harris.
I'm sorry, you would like to speak with who?
Miss Harris.
Hold on, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Okay.
Miss Harris.
Harris?
Correct.
Harris. We don't have anyone in this office by that name.
I just received that name from the GPO. Let me go ahead. I'll call them back and I'll get the correct name.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Welcome to the United States Government Publishing Office.
Para español, por favor, oprima el uno.
Please listen carefully as our menu for quality and training purposes. Your call may be recorded.
Who are they training? Because they ain't doing a good job. Oh, look at that. They hung up on me, y'all. They hung up on me. Y'all hold on one.
Okay, and no one in that office can assist you?
No, they didn't have the name of the person you told me to contact. I only asked them for that person because you told me that's who I needed to speak to. And
Okay,
then
I'll let you speak with the supervisor here. Maybe she can help. One moment, please. That's Miss Morrison. One moment.
so it appears the hanging up on me was done on purpose.
Hi, you've reached the Office of Congressional Relations at the Government Printing Office. We're sorry, but no one is able to answer your call right now. Please leave your name and number, and someone will get back to you just as soon as we can.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Yes, my name is Eon, and I called your local office after sending a couple of emails, trying to get a copy of a particular congressional record that was done back in 2014. Your representatives have communicated with me that they couldn't locate it the first time, so we sent them a copy of the actual acts. Now they're claiming that the act didn't exist. So we have called in to get a better inquiry, only to be hung up on and not to be responded to. Although we have individuals saying that they're going to return the call. So I am 058. I would appreciate a call back as soon as possible. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I left a call with Mr. Jeffrey Turner's office. He's the director. Okay, and I needed to speak to somebody at that number to make sure they understood that no, I'm not allowing this to. And even though he's at sales, I don't care about sales. I could have called Davita Vance Cox, okay, but that wasn't the point. The idea was I'm not letting this go. I have a copy of the act, and there are too many names, too many issues associated with that act for them to be writing me back an email. And let me see if I can read the email to you so that you guys can understand what these intelligent idiots said. Give me a second. Response via email from a Robin Hahn Mohammed, 8/18/2018 at 7:42 a.m. This bill is fraudulent. We have referred your inquiry to the Office of General Counsel. You may contact that office directly at area code 202-512-0033 or at kmiller@gpo.gov. And then that's it. They didn't explain why it's fraudulent or that it didn't exist, because I sent them a copy of the bill and a copy of the private law. So how can a bill be fraudulent? The bill was not the thing that was passed. It was the private law that was passed. So the bill can't be fraudulent because a bill is just an introduction. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And then to be claiming that something is fraudulent and then sending it to your general counsel, that idiot doesn't work for the GPO through being elected, through filling out an application and being employed by the GPO as an actual officer of the GPO, because there is no office in the GPO known as general counsel. General counsel is usually a privately hired attorney that they hire privately, who may hold an office in the building, but he's not an elected official. And sending it to his office for what? What's he going to do? So give me a second. I'm going to call them back, because she left me on hold for quite some time and never came back to the phone. So I don't appreciate being left on hold.
Welcome to the United States Government Publishing Office.
Para
For quality and training purposes, your call may be recorded.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the United States Government Publishing Office. How may I help you?
My name is Eon. I just called regarding some difficulties with the email communication and the inquiry, and individuals not providing the information that's being requested. I was told that my particular matter was being handled by the Congressional Oversight Office. They gave me a name. I called there. Nobody by that name. So I am having a difficult time with the runaround.
What is it that you're trying to do? Or what's your question?
I'll give you the incident number that was given to me. Incident.
I'm not able to pull up an incident number. What are
The
your
last
issues?
lady that I just spoke with, the one who told me she was getting me a supervisor and left me on hold for 15 minutes, was able to pull up the number. I doubt this very same number.
Have you purchased a publication or anything from
Not
us?
purchasing.
We're a publishing office.
I know that you're the government publishing office. I know that you're the GPO. I'm dialing the correct number. Like I said, I just called this number. And that young lady was able to pull up information and was able to give me a number to the Congressional Oversight Office after I gave her the incident number.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Amazing, isn't it? The same number I just dialed, you guys heard the whole call, and now she's telling me something completely different. That, oh, I can't pull up that information. Man, I love crack. Hey, y'all got some crack y'all can give them? Because I think they're running short. Or they could be overdosing and nobody knows. And yes, I know this is what many of you go to when you call these offices, so I understand. But I am definitely saying, give them a call. And let's have you guys call the Managing Director of Customer Service. We're a publishing office. No, you're not a publishing office. No, you're McDonald's. I want a Big Mac Quarter Pounder and I want a Whopper Jr. None of them with onions, extra ketchup, extra pickles. Because I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm going to dial the wrong number.
Sorry for the hold. I'm going to transfer you to the rep that you spoke to.
Yep.
Okay?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I was on. You were on hold with me, but I guess you hung up before I could get back. My supervisor wasn't available, so I called down to Congressional and I spoke with Miss Devaney. She's reading your email now that you sent to see if she can assist you. And I sent her the attachment so she can look at it. She said if she cannot handle it, she will get it to the appropriate person. So I gave her your email. I don't have a phone number, but I can take that and give it to her.
Okay, the phone number is area code 3.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, she gave me information that she called over to the Congressional Office at GPO. So it is the Congressional Office at GPO whom you want to contact regarding that particular act. Because remember, I just read to you where they say that the act that I gave them was fraudulent. Okay? That was their response to me. But now she's sending it over to Mrs. Devaney. And if Miss Devaney can find anything, she'll get back with me. Gave them both the email and the phone number. Okay? So I would actually call up and I would ask if you guys want to help, if you want to advance the process, I would actually call up and I'd actually do some inquiries yourselves. Now, we're going to finish the call. If y'all don't mind, I don't know why y'all done set up here and let these people done take us all this time. This is only a 14-minute call and we're at 40 minutes.
Register to review the record. That's why the appeals court can only review the record. They can't make a judicial determination because they don't have any judicial power. They can only rule administratively. That's why they issue administrative rulings. And that's why the law says that they're administrative law judges. It's all arbitration. Now, what I'm going to tell you is so that I just explained this in this conversation, I'm going to put this conversation up on the net. That's why I'm glad I didn't say nobody's names. Okay? All right. This conversation works for me because I don't have to explain it all again. Everybody can see the flow of the conversation. Okay? Now look, like I said, I took my sleeping pills and I do have a slight headache, but my brain has been racking this one issue because, like I said, I only asked him to help me figure out their system. And I should have figured this part out a long time ago, but I wasn't focused on arbitration. I've known about arbitration all this time, but it wasn't something I wanted to do because it wasn't something I was interested in because I didn't know how pivotal it was. And so now we're going to start setting up arbitrators. We're going to start getting people to come in as arbitrators, paying them $200 an hour to be an arbitrator. And all they have to do is sit, and they can't be people who already got their mind made up thinking that the system is against everybody. These have to be legitimate individuals who come in and see the way my contract is worded, that if they default, they've just given me power of attorney to choose the arbitrator.
Oh my God.
Okay, we about to play. So, I just wanted to explain this. So
Hold on, let me play that again.
It's an hour to. I've known about arbitration all this time, but it wasn't something I wanted to do because it wasn't something I was interested in because I didn't know how pivotal it was. And so now we're going to start setting up arbitrators. We're going to start getting people to come in as arbitrators, paying them $200 an hour to be an arbitrator. And all they have to do is sit, and they can't be people who already got their mind made up thinking that the system is against everybody. These have to be legitimate individuals who come in and see the way my contract is worded, that if they default, they've just given me power of attorney to choose the arbitrator.
Oh my God.
Okay, we about to play. So,
Warriors!
I just wanted to explain this so that you understand, so that you get it. This is where we're headed. This is where we're going. We're about to take care of some business. So I just wanted to make sure you knew, because I just mailed out 24 letters today. Let the people know either you got 3 days to respond, or you haven't responded in your 3 days, or this is where we're headed. So I'm about to have some fun. And I'm not concerned. But that doesn't matter. That's not. They can never speak against the arbitration process. They can never speak against the contract. Because once they call our contract into question, we call their contract into question. Once they pick our contract apart and they say, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this, then we do all of those things they said we didn't do, we do it the next time.
That's right.
We will
work in progress.
Finalize and process and put this process together and perfect it based on how they respond to us. And I want them to hear this video because I want them to know that they cannot get around a stupid contract.
They cannot? No way.
They can get around the arbitration. Fine.
They can possibly get around that.
We have made sure the contract is ironclad.
We sure did.
Most people, we put the contract up there. I would suggest they go according to the first contract those guys did, especially if they have somebody incarcerated.
Got somebody incarcerated.
That first contract has 513 points that they
Incarcerated
cannot get
people.
around. Some of the points, I don't think they're correct, but they're asking each one of the proof of claims of questions that are being asked. Proof of claim that this is not the fact and that this is the fact and so forth.
Proof of claim.
So the contract that those guys did is perfect.
Perfecto.
Now look, I'm not going to keep you. Like I said,
keep.
I got a headache because that's all I've been doing all day is thinking.
Thinking.
And I'm going to test that phone. I did get the SIM card. I did test it. It won't work up here.
Won't work.
Oh no. Yeah, because this is Verizon only territory, and the SIM card only works on GSM. But in about 3 days, I'll do a video telling everybody about it, and I'm just going to test it out, and then I'll let you know about it, and I'll give the link to you so that you can get it. But it does.
Y'all gonna have to stay tuned for that, all right? I ain't ready to put that out yet. I got to test it out first before I tell y'all about this. So y'all just hold on now, but just be ready for some news that's gonna benefit you.
It does work, and as a matter of fact, the number I got, it's that you can't choose your own number. If you port your number, it's $108 to port because that's not the main focus of the company is porting people's number. They'll get you your brand new number, but porting your number, it's a hassle, and they don't have the staff for that, so they charge what it costs them literally to port a number.
That's what they do.
However, what I will do, because they gave me a number, and my number is so simple, it's pathetic. I like my number. I ain't saying it on this call, but, because I'm putting this online. So, my new number, if you got my old number, sorry, but new number.
My number is going to be changing. Well, it already changed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not putting that on the internet. Now, we still have the Google Voice number, so you'll still be able to dial that, 631, those of you who want to try, 6315 EON V3. That's right, 6315 EON V3. That's the number. But understand this. I don't answer questions. Now you can try. Sometimes I may answer a question. You can try. Sometimes I may respond. Sometimes. But I'm not here to answer your questions. You hear that right there? That's an email. That's one of the homies. When I say homies, he's a SatPack person. But he was a homie before he was a SatPack person. And he just constantly sending me links and videos and giving me information. And I think you know him, is the person that he's saying he thinks I knows, that it's pretty loaded, lying the banks and their attorneys out to dry, and talking about he goes into statutes at large and the Bank Act. And so he says the person doing the video is somebody I may already know. Okay, so I might check it out, but I don't watch other people's videos because I'm on a whole different tip now. Do you all see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about? Nobody else is bringing up the information that I'm bringing up. Nobody's talking about arbitration. Nobody's talking about contracts, self-executing, binding, irrevocable contracts coupled with interest. Go type in YouTube and see if anybody's talking about this. They're not. But if they jump on the bandwagon, hey, what y'all doing? Y'all better go on back in that, go on back and play. Y'all ain't got no business be sitting up there fighting each other, sitting up there on y'all hind legs. Anyway, those of you, if you're not watching the screen, you don't know what I'm talking about. But, ladies and gentlemen, the process I've been going over since May. Well, actually since March. Let me make sure. Since March is when I first found out about it, but since May that I've been going over every aspect about it, trying to see where the flaws are. Okay? We've been taking care of those things. Now, we're going to play.
I ain't giving that out. Ain't nobody killing my line. And the fact that the number is good for 9 years and you only pay a phone bill once.
What?
You only pay a phone bill $300 one time for 9 years. You're locked into the contract. What if the company not around for 9 years? Actually, it's not the company that's the issue. It's the technology. And they patented the technology. They're the only ones who have a phone signal operating off of that frequency. Because they were the only ones who thought about it.
No, hold on. Let me correct that. Only ones who have a SIM card that's connected to that frequency. Because no one else thought about that frequency. Everybody else was thinking about those higher end frequencies.
And went and got a patent.
Got a patent.
So I'll be explaining that in a couple of days. I got to talk with the company because I want to try to work out a deal for the people who listen to my videos. Because I think this would, because see, I'm tired of, I just paid my Verizon bill yesterday. $75, well, no, so excuse me, $98 because they added international long distance. Well, this.
That's right. Verizon just, on their own, just started adding stuff to my phone. And so now I got to, call them and say, hey, guys, y'all need to credit those funds back. And you need to adjust that bill. I'm not going to argue with you because we got a contract. Don't you remember? I sent y'all my contract. That's right. I sent y'all a conditional acceptance of your offer because you changed the terms of the agreement. So I conditionally accepted your change in terms of the agreement and gave you my conditional acceptance. And guess what you did? You consented to it because you decided you were going to call me and not write. And according to our contract, if you communicated in any other fashion and did not respond and answer the questions unequivocally with specificity and with no general responses and or general answers and no non-answers, then you consented to the contract. Thank you. Congress says such a contract is binding. That's right. Let me continue.
My phone has 98 countries I can dial.
98 countries, long distance. Ain't got to pay no extras. We're going to tell y'all about that in a minute. Y'all just hold on.
So paying Verizon $98, they're going to be refunding some of that money because they charged me for two things I didn't ask for.
Exactly.
but they'll be refunding that money.
Refunded.
Verizon
Now,
is.
I'm going to cut the call off because we're not talking about the arbitration anymore through the rest of the call. But ladies and gentlemen, let me go back and explain the arbitration again. The courts, this is all they're doing is arbitration. From the moment you write that ticket or sign that ticket, you're creating a controversy. I've already told people what you should be doing is signing your signature and placing the word void next to your signature. Don't be afraid. Don't hide it. If you're not willing to contract, then you have to do it by disaffirmance. Void is your disaffirmance. Look up the word, legal definition, disaffirmance. Okay? And disaffirm the contract. Stop joining into these agreements, because remember, when you go to court, they're only there to see if you did what they're saying you did, that you violated the terms of the agreement. Now, wait, hold on. What you talking about? Did I violate terms of agreement? They got me in here for triple homicide. Okay, well, I want you to pay attention so that you get it. Where a person is not at the time a licensee, neither the agency nor the judicial officer has any jurisdiction of said person to consider or make an order. One ground is want of jurisdiction. The accused was not a licensee, and it is not claimed that he was. So you agreed by signing that ticket. It's called voluntary subscription. Okay? That was you. You did that. Now, remember, the judge is not a judge. He is an administrative officer, an ministerial clerk. Why? Because he stopped being a judicial officer once he decided to act administratively. And remember, the courts are administering justice. Okay? So, pay attention. When acting to enforce a statute, yes, they accuse you of violating statutes, the judge of a municipal court, traffic court, is acting as an administrative officer and not as in a judicial capacity. Why? Because courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially. They have no judicial power, but they merely act administratively. Ladies and gentlemen, this is universal for the United States. This is not just California or Virginia. This is universal for the United States. And that's why they can give you 71 American Law Review 604. Now, you know what? I never looked that up. Hold on now. Give me that. Copy that. I copy that. Okay. Took you guys a long time to pop up. Hold on. Let's do this. I got to get my background again because I redid the computer. So y'all going to see the background in the future. We're going to go back to the future, y'all. And I just wish I could tell you guys everything that was going on, all the things that we're doing, but I can't because it's too much. I know that today we'll be updating the SATCOM website. The SAT packs will be back. However, the price will be different. Why? Because the SAT packs will be different. We'll be adding things to the SAT pack. Those who are SAT pack 1, SAT pack 2, you're grandfathered in. So everything we're adding, you will be benefiting from that, with the exception of the SAT pack Plus, SAT pack Prime. Okay. Now, you know, it said American Law Review, and this is what it is, ALR, American Law. This says American Law Reports. Okay, but we want the review. We don't want the reports. So let me copy that right there. And I don't know why. This is Bing, so Bing ain't gonna give me what I need. It did pull up this case right here, but I want the 71 ALR, American Law Review, V, W, then VIER. Oh, I don't even know why I was thinking viewer. American Law Review, Law School. American Law Review is a free non-commercial service. Nobody is asking you about your non-commercial service. I'm looking for that section. Okay, that's the section I'm looking for. It's highlighted there. I'm looking for that section. So I can't find that section right now. It's not enough time, y'all. And I didn't bother to ever look it up before. But I'm interested in what the American Law Review was going to say at item number 640. Matter of fact, I know what we want. Let's do that, and then let's do G. No, we're going to do that up here. We're going to do GOOGLE.com. Now I have to change my search engine. I don't want to use Google, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't want to use Google, but all of them are doing the same thing, and that's going to be the other video we talk to you guys about when we tell you about the service for the new cell service, about how everybody's doing this thing called data mining, but we're not talking about that in this video, so don't try to comment to me about that. We're not talking about that now. When I talk about it then, I'm only going to give you the information, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm doing right now, is I'm giving you the information. You take the information and you do what you do, because Ray Charles said he gonna make it do what it do. So you take the information and you make it do what it do, but don't take it and give it to me, because I don't want your information. I got my own information. You know what I'm saying? For your information. I know that if I went to the college, I could pull up the American Law Review, but this thing says reports. The books are not called reports. But hold on, let me put the word report there. See if we got it. Hey, they got American Law Reports PDFs. Hold on. Let's see if we can pull up a PDF of Title 71. Well, it's not actually title, book number 71, because it's volume 71. I told y'all, I know what I was talking about. I just ain't talking about it, okay? I ain't got to prove everything I know. That's what y'all do. Y'all got to prove everything to each other, because y'all got to prove everything to each other. I ain't got to prove nothing. I know what I know. So hold on 1 second. All right, I can't help y'all. I got the Wi-Fi going on both computers, and so it's both computers pulling on the same Wi-Fi signal. And it's more interesting than you could possibly know. So what we're going to do is we're just going to minimize this, and we're just going to continue the conversation. Now that you have seen, and I'm finishing up the Wi-Fi, yes, I can hook up my Wi-Fi, my wireless printer, and do wireless printing through my tethering of my cell phone. So I'm going to finish that, but let's get back to the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, so that you understand. How do we get around the arbitration system? Well, the first thing is, first you just have to know. So you have to know what's going on. So now that you know that it's arbitration, now you just have to figure out the rules of arbitration. You see, the principles of arbitration is going to be always the same. Okay? What we are doing is we are creating a acceptance of contract, but conditional acceptance. And we're doing a conditional acceptance of their contract. But however, most of you don't know enough about this yet because you haven't done the studying of this yet. Some of you who were with Creditors in Commerce, they were doing the conditional acceptance. Some of you have heard of Mr. What's that boy's name? Clifford, Dean Clifford. He was doing conditional acceptance. And I believe that's partially, pay attention, partially why their processes were working at first, but they didn't have the arbitration angle. Now you all have the arbitration angle. This thing right here is going to tell me about setting up faxing and all of that stuff. I ain't got no time to be faxing. So ladies and gentlemen, we will keep you apprised and updated of information as it comes along. We thank you for taking the time. This video will be up later today. This is Thursday, the 15th of November, 2018. Ask that all of you have a very good day. Goodbye.